Hello everyone and welcome back! Well, as usual, my January break was both too short and too long, but I'm back. I had an excellent break, spent mostly as unpaid labor helping friends with different handyman projects like installing a door and building shelves and making 89 trips to Home Depot because I'm the friend with a truck. But when I wasn't looking for our long screws, or measuring right angles, or caressing my 10-inch chop saw lovingly, or on one memorable occasion convincing my friend not to saw the bottom of her door off, I was able to enjoy some good rest. And I got a head start on some of my projects for 2026. I have some really exciting stuff planned and a full schedule ahead of me, so y'all have lots to look forward to. Anyways, I'm really excited to be posting again. I've missed you guys, and let's get into the video. Today, I'm designing a leaf-ice hybrid named Wintergreen. This was a design inspired when I was getting some icy weather where I live, which put me in a cold mood. I actually had her name before anything else and googled some color palettes that matched the name because I knew I wanted an icy green Leaf-Icewing mix, so I found the colors that matched that vision. This is not how this process usually goes for me. I often don't have the name until the end, but this time I had a very specific vision. Aside from her colors, the only Leafwing features she really has are the tail flare and the spotted scales along her neck and tail. Going off of pure physique, she's definitely more Icewing leaning. And it extends beyond her looks, because she has full Icewing abilities such as frost breath and cold tolerance, but no hint of leaf speak. Wintergreen is a quiet, contemplative kiddo. She was hatched sometime in the distant future of Pyria, where Pentalans and Pyrians mix more frequently. Because of this, she's actually visited both of her parents in their respective tribes a few times, though she spent most of her dragonette years with her mother in the Ice Kingdom. Her parents picked her name together, wanting something that would acknowledge both sides of her heritage. She actually tends to shorten it depending on what tribe she's visiting. In the Ice Kingdom, she goes by Winter, and with the Leafwings, she goes by Green. Wintergreen tends to keep to herself and struggles with self-consciousness thanks to her upbringing in the Ice Kingdom. Her mother was fairly open to other tribes and cultures, and their society is nowhere near as rigid as it was back in the days of war and prophecies, but change moves slower than a frozen river in the north. Many dragons in their tribe looked down on Wintergreen, especially because she was an excellent hunter from a young age, which caused many other dragonettes to seethe with jealousy. Wintergreen is a tall, large dragon, even for an Icewing, and was a little clumsy as a dragonette before she grew into her claws. But as an adult, she's graceful and fast, and meets with a lot of success hunting in the evergreen forests dotting the Ice Kingdom, where her unique coloring helps her blend in seamlessly. Despite the somewhat frigid atmosphere of her Pyrian home, Wintergreen actually prefers it to Pentala. Though she loves her father and enjoys visiting him and his tribe, the Lost Continent is too hot and filled with an abundance of green things that, despite her mixed blood, Wintergreen can't bring herself to enjoy. Because of this, although she visits often, she definitely prefers to stay home in the Ice Kingdom. Besides hunting, Wintergreen is also fond of ice sculptures. She spent many lonely afternoons as a dragonette picking delicately at clear chunks of ice, working intricate designs or figures into them. Her mother has a large collection of statues and figurines given to her over the years by her daughter. Unfortunately, her skill at this hobby doesn't exactly win her any friends. It seems to annoy her tribe mates how someone could be so good at Icewing skills and yet be a half-breed. So, Wintergreen is a little self-conscious and has a lot of practice passing time alone, but she refuses to let it upset her. She is who she is, and she's comfortable with that. Her favorite color is actually orange, because it's the hardest color to find in the Ice Kingdom, so when she comes across it, she's always delighted by the look of it. Where her father lives in Pentala, there's a particular breed of hibiscus that grows a vibrant shade of orange, and she loves to gather them during her visits. On one memorable occasion, she tracked down an orange frog, too. Luckily, her father caught her before she could pick it up, which would have given her a memorable experience. Wintergreen's favorite food is also from Pentala. Cinnamon sticks, a small pastry dusted liberally with cinnamon and roasted by fire silk silkwings. It's a recent invention, but a very popular one. She's always excited to get them when she visits. One thing I love about this design is the little streaks going out to the tips of her wings and along her talons. I wanted them to reflect like little cracks in ice. They look cool, which is nice, but they're also a tad bit symbolic. Because Wintergreen isn't a perfect Icewing. She's got these little green streaks in her too. And while some might look at a piece of cracked ice and think its beauty is ruined, others would look at it and see a new level of intricacy and unique detail. So it's a fun little detail for me, because it kind of reflects Wintergreen's own outlook on life. She is the way she is. How dragons perceive her changes only based on their perspective. Anyways, deep symbolic meanings aside, this is just a super attractive design for me. I love the blue-green shades, and I had a lot of fun pairing them with a very cool white tone. Also, it's a subtle detail, but I used a deep, dark sapphire blue for the line art because it gives the entire thing more of a blue tint without losing the actual green coloring of the design. That's a trick I use sometimes when I want to give a drawing a certain tint or mood. I color the line art in that color without changing the colors of the design itself. If you're interested in owning this character, I always auction off the Let's Design hybrids on my DeviantArt since there's no way I'd be able to keep up with this many OCs. So if you're interested, there's a link in the description, and the auction will be open until noon tomorrow. In other news, we're resuming business as usual. I'll be posting every Sunday, and my store is once again open. You can find links to my store, as well as my DeviantArt, Patreon, and Redbubble in the description of this video. If you enjoyed this, I have lots of other Let's Design videos too. I'm trying to design every combination of hybrid, so I've got a lot more to go. Thank you all for watching, and have a blessed day.